So I'm going to take over from here. Hi everyone. We'll have a quick chat conversation. Well, mostly, of course, it'll be me talking. And towards the end of this, I'm going to be inviting a volunteer to perhaps participate with me in something that we call a strengths and self-awareness interview. So let me start by sharing the slides that I have. A minute, please. Okay, so the topic is spotlight your career after the break. And many of us have been on a career break at some time or the other. And I myself, even though I don't have children, but I have had a couple of career breaks during my 20-year-long career. And every time I've gone on a break and come back ready to start working again, I have experienced that trepidation, the apprehension of, okay, am I ready to come back to work? Am I still going to be appreciated for what I was able to do before? And you know, whether you're at the top of your career or somewhere in the middle, there's always that apprehension that I may not be able to start where I left off. In fact, a big belief is that I'll have to take a step down and start from somewhere lower. What I'm going to talk about today is how can you discover for yourself what your strengths are, and how can you highlight these well enough so that even if you are starting at a so-called lower level, you're still making use of all your possible strengths and capabilities, and you do not start off on a note of feeling dissatisfied with what you're going to do. You need to start off exactly where you know you're capable of delivering, because that's what's going to give you satisfaction, and that's what's really going to keep you in your career, whatever career you decide to take up after your break. So what I'd like to do is maybe start with sharing my story and then take you into understanding how you could either reinvent yourself or discover yourself the best way you can. So my story is this, that I was an entrepreneur. I had started my own company along with my husband, and I worked there for about 6.5 years before I decided that that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I decided to first start off with taking a 6-month break from work, which then turned into me saying, I'm not coming back because I want to do something different. And it took me about 1 year and 3 months before I was even ready to do something different. And after that time away from work, you can imagine I started feeling fairly nervous about how I'm going to get back to work. There were 2 or 3 things playing on my mind. The kind of things that I had been doing as an entrepreneur were almost like a jack of all, master of none. I was used to being my own boss. I had lots of worries about being too generalist in my approach. And I honestly wasn't too sure what exactly I could sell myself as. I can obviously not share myself as sell myself as an entrepreneur. I need to be employable. So what I started meeting a lot of people, and one of the people that I met, a very good friend, did something that I'm about to talk about in this presentation, which is he conducted a strengths interview with me without my being very aware, and helped me uncover a whole bunch of things which I wasn't aware of. So as an entrepreneur, as an operations person, I believed that my strength lay in designing and improving processes and making sure that those are executed to perfection. And operations was also what I thought was my strength. And as I spoke to my friend further, and as he talked to me, asked me relevant questions, I soon discovered, he helped me discover that perhaps all these years, what I've been thinking about myself being a strength was not necessarily my real strength. And he helped me discover that my real strength might actually be in helping people, in training, in developing, in coaching. And thanks to his uncovering this other side of me, I was able to actually explore a different career completely, which I found is really my career. It's something that I really enjoy, gives me a lot of pleasure, happiness, satisfaction. And that's what I'm going to talk about. So, the thing that we need to understand is that sometimes we can be stuck with beliefs about our strengths, which are only work related. And what we don't realize as women who might have been on a break, or even men, I know men who've been on a break as well, is that you are gaining a lot of new skills during your break time as well. It's not like you're sitting at home doing nothing. There's a whole lot of things that you're doing which are building upon your old strengths, which might have been work related, as well as developing new strengths. And it might be time to now focus a little bit on those strengths as well and see how they add to your work strengths. And they will add. I'm not saying ignore your work strengths. They also are there, but you need to see how you can add to them. All right. So first of all, let's understand, what do we mean by a strength? What exactly is a strength? Sorry about the scribbles on the slides. I don't know how they came there. I'm hoping I didn't do something. But if you can ignore the scribbles and just focus on the images here, or the matter on the slide. So yes, what do we mean by a strength? One important thing to remember is that it's not just something that you're good at. That's another belief that we have strongly, that it has to be something that I'm good at. So I would say that your real strength is something that forms in the intersection of these three circles. And what are these three circles? One, of course, is what you're good at. So something that you're recognized for, which is what I'm equating to what you're good at. Then there are also things that you really look forward to doing, things that you want to do more of, things that when you're doing them, you're so happy and so enjoying what you're doing that you're kind of in the zone. You don't even realize how quickly time is passing, which is something I need to keep an eye on, because I'm also in the zone right now. And then, of course, there are things which, after you have completed them, give you a deep sense of satisfaction. So there will be different activities that fall into each of these circles. However, what you're really looking for is the few things that fall in the intersection of these circles. Something that you really enjoy doing, something that gives you a deep sense of satisfaction, and something that you're recognized for. So what are these kind of things? Again, they don't have to be big item activities. They don't have to be world-changing activities. They really need to, they could even be something small, but what you need to do from that is extract what your strength is. It's very, again, I'm going to say is that we are used to speaking about strengths in the form of phrases or words such as I have, let's say, an eye for detail, or I'm a great problem solver, or there could be something like, let's see, I'm sure there are lots of different strengths that people do come up with. What we want to do is we want to go delve a little deeper into these phrases and describe our strengths in the form of experiences and actual examples rather than these phrases, because these phrases are too often used and they lose their worth after a while if that's the only way we are able to describe ourselves. So we're going to see, how can I describe myself from my examples, from my experiences, in ways that make my strengths differentiated from others. Okay, so that's the idea here. Let me show you another slide. Here are some possible experiences that we might have had even while being at home, right? And there are strengths to be derived from these as well. So let's look at this one. I made banana bread for the first time, and it was appreciated by the whole family. So what is the strength here? There are lots of strengths. There is the willingness to try something new, which I may not have tried before, and do it so well, even though I'm doing it for the first time, that everyone likes it. So this is not just about banana bread anymore. It's about really being willing to experiment with something and doing it so perfectly that it is appreciated, right? Now, and see where you can extrapolate these. It doesn't have to be just in the kitchen. You might be able to do something, you might have done other things in your past, which you did for the first time and yet did it perfectly well. So try to recognize that. Let's look at the other one. I learned to drive so that I can take my kids to school, and now I love it. So here, what's the strength? Again, it's learning something new, and it's something technical almost that you're learning, something that scares you. If you've never driven before, then it can be quite a scary experience to learn after when you're already an adult. And not only to learn it, but to love it. So you learn it to such an extent, and you get so familiar with its intricacies that you actually learn to love it. And if you look at the last one, I'm the one people approach when they have a problem. You have to learn to recognize in yourself, are you the kind of person who people like to come to when they have a problem? And what does that say about you? It means you're approachable. It means that you're a good listener. And this actually is an excellent managerial skill, which we probably undervalue to a large extent, and we need to value it much more. So any of these, and what I'm trying to demonstrate from this slide is that strengths can be seen in almost any of our day-to-day activities. We need to recognize them. We need to learn to extract what is our real strength from any of these activities. So what I'd like to do now, we have about maybe 20 minutes before we stop, is I'm going to show you a possible strengths and self-awareness interview that can help you discover your own strengths. And I'm going to run through these questions, perhaps as a volunteer, and I'm going to request one volunteer to join me now. And you can see how you can extract your own strengths and become a little more self-aware just by very simple questions. It's best, of course, if this interview is done with a friend in a very neutral way. So this friend should not have previous judgments about you and what your strengths are, but ideally just help you open up so that you can discover your strengths for yourself. Okay, and let's try this. May I invite Beena? Beena, I thank you for volunteering earlier. Could you unmute your mic and perhaps...
Yeah,
hi, Beena.
I've done that for Beena. Hi, Beena. Good morning.
Okay, great, thanks.
Good morning.
Great. So, Beena, are you willing and ready to have this conversation? Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Beena, you can see the questions on the slide, but try not to get distracted by them. I'm going to leave them there, and I'm going to ask you the questions one by one, and let's hear your answers. Just be as authentic and genuine as possible, if you're, and share whatever you're comfortable sharing. All right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, Beena, can you tell me what kind of activities have you enjoyed the most in your recent past?
I'd have to say the outdoor activities.
Okay, can you give me an example?
So I tried skiing.
You tried skiing?
Yes.
Excellent, okay. And tell me more about that. What was your experience like skiing?
So this is an activity that I started with my family around 2 years ago.
Okay.
And so over a period of time, I've learned that I quite enjoy the challenge of a new environment, and
right.
The conditions are different.
Yeah.
initially, of course, there was a lot of hesitation to try it,
Yeah.
but time progressed and I took more lessons. I kind of got more comfortable understanding the conditions.
Okay.
So I think the fact that it was challenging in new conditions, that I thrived in it, it gave me a sense of accomplishment.
Excellent. So you're pretty much also answering the third question where you got satisfaction, but we'll come to that as well. But
Okay.
what was it that you enjoyed during skiing?
Of course, it was the fear initially that it made me hesitate a lot, but
Yeah.
the fact that I could get over that fear.
Right. So getting over the fear was something that made you feel good.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Great. Let's move to the next question. First of all, let me ask you: are there any other activities that you can think of, similar, which might have created a bit of fear in the beginning, but then you found that you could get over that fear?
Again, another outdoor activity.
Like
So
what?
I've nursed a fear for deep water since my childhood, and just so that my son wouldn't catch on to that fear from me, I decided to take up swimming. So that's something, again, I was really afraid of, but I conquered my fear and moved forward.
Excellent. Great. Okay, good. Let's move to the next question then. What kinds of activities have you been recognized for? What has brought you recognition and congratulations from other people?
Not sure if in any way, I mean, are you talking about these particular tasks or anything else?
Anything. I mean, anything that you can remember from the recent past where you were recognized for something, where somebody said, Obina, you did this really well, if you know what I mean. So something like that.
Yeah, so for my writing,
Okay.
so I'm an aspiring creative writer,
Yeah.
and so a couple of posts on my blog generated a lot of positive feedback.
Excellent.
So very satisfactory.
Fantastic. Okay. So good. So we've got something that you enjoyed, something that you've been recognized for. Which kind of tasks or activities have given you a feeling of huge satisfaction? And that could be anything. It need not, it need not be the same activities that you've been recognized for that you enjoyed, but it could be as well. So what has given you the most satisfaction?
So the most satisfaction, I think I derived from writing as well.
From? Sorry, I missed
Writing,
that.
from my writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you describe this feeling of satisfaction?
So when I write, I a very like a release sort of a feeling. I feel that I'm on the plane altogether. I feel like I'm in a meditative state. So
Yeah.
that's the feeling I get, and it's a very satisfying feeling.
Excellent. Okay. And you feel that satisfaction at what point? After you have written or after you have posted on the blog?
So after I've written.
Not necessarily after posting. Just
Not
after
necessarily
writing.
after posting, no.
Okay. Do you understand why I'm asking you to recognize when you feel it?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good. So it's not so much about getting that recognition that gives you satisfaction, but it's just having done the work itself. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you help me find that intersection for you? We've talked about activities that you've enjoyed the most, that you've been recognized for, and that has given you maximum satisfaction. And now, based on the answers to these questions, you talked about outdoor activities like skiing and swimming, as well as your writing. How would you describe your strengths based on what you've just spoken about?
I think getting over the fear, initial just experimenting with something new.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
something
Good.
that I've observed that I like doing.
Okay, great. Good. So experimenting with something new, getting over fear, is what you would describe as your strength. Yeah?
Yes.
Excellent. So let's look at this. What impact do you think your strengths are currently having on people around you?
I think I'm a lot more positive, and there's a change in the way I interact with people. I'm a lot happier with myself. So I'm getting over the challenges that I face that is in my head, in my mind. And I think
Okay.
a lot happier with myself. And that's kind of translating in everything that I do.
Okay. So can you tell me more specifically about how it might be impacting other people?
So of course, my husband, so he explores a lot. He tries different things. He's very experimentative. So it kind of helps our relationship as well.
Okay. Mhm.
So he tries different things, of course,
Right.
and we have common interests as well. But yeah, so it's helped our relationship tremendously.
Super. That's amazing. Okay. Good. And how have your skills grown in the areas of your strengths? So if I'm going to repeat, you mentioned your strengths are getting over fear and trying new things. So have you seen any change in yourself from before to now in these particular areas?
So I'm open to more opportunities. I think I try to interact with more people, learn from
Yeah.
more people. So
Yeah.
I think I was an introvert before, but I see there's a change in my personality, and I'm more open to talking and interacting with people because I know the opportunities lie there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So you find that getting over your fear and experimenting with new things is making you more open to interacting with new people.
Right.
Yeah? And how is that helping you interacting with new people?
It's giving me a platform to express myself as well. You know,
Okay.
so that's how I think it's helping me.
Okay, excellent. So expressing yourself in what ways?
So in my writing, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think interacting with people, learning from them, and self-expression, improving my self-expression skills,
Yeah.
and that's helping my writing as well.
Excellent. So you're seeing a strength add to another strength and making it even stronger. That's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. So what do you think would help you take your strength to the next level?
Mm, I think collaborating with more and more people,
Okay.
yeah, to advance my writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So collaboration I see is very key
Yeah.
in areas that are very important to me.
Excellent. And how will you identify those?
The areas.
Yeah.
So like writing is an area that I'm interested in. So
Yeah.
is so I believe in collaborating with people and learning more about that particular field or area to
Okay.
advance myself, my personal growth.
Okay. So you feel that what would help you take your strength to the next level, maybe sharpen your strength more, is to go out and meet more people, collaborate with more people,
Yeah.
especially in areas that you have identified as your
Yeah.
interests.
Yes.
That's great. Wonderful. So um, this may not be applicable to you. That is, if you don't want to work in an organization or a company. But if you did want to choose, if you could just design your own role in any company or an organization, what would it be? What kind of role would best use your strengths?
I think I would collaborate with different players in the organization, people in key places as well as lower down. So I think collaboration is key.
Yeah, that's something that you would want to do. And how
Yeah.
would you use what do you see happening after the collaboration? How do you visualize it panning out for you?
So I think I would make it a flatter kind of an organizational structure rather than a hierarchy.
Okay. All right. That's amazing. You know, you've already, just through that simple statement of collaboration and making a flatter hierarchical structure, organization structure, you brought back your sort of conquering of fears. And one of those fears might be even to talk to new people, and experimenting with something new is something else that you have also brought back. So this is what we want to do here. We want to see how does it relate what you've spoken about in the earlier part of your interview towards the latter part of your interview. So what I'd like as a summary from you, Beena, is how has your awareness about yourself grown even in this last 5 minutes of conversation?
To summarize, I think that I'm open to new challenges, and I need to conquer my fear, the initial hesitation. And collaboration is something that probably, I mean, it's not my strong point at the moment, but it's something that I would like to develop and bring more people on board to achieve my goals and a common goal.
Sure. Okay. So is this any different from what you knew about yourself before, or did you already know this about yourself?
No, I didn't.
Really? Okay. Thank you. That's a good thing. Okay. So I hope you're not saying that just to make me feel good.
No, really. I mean, I had no idea that, these factors would all play up together.
Yeah, yeah. So in fact, I went through a similar experience myself, and that's, where even as I was talking, I realized I started seeing things about myself which I hadn't seen before, and that's the idea of the strength interview. And as I said, you may not be able to, there's a lot of skill that lies in the interviewer as well, in ensuring that they dig deep enough to find your strengths. And maybe you can do it for others as well. But find a friend who can help you uncover. And while we've done one such chat, Beena, it's useful to maybe do this with more people as well. You'll keep discovering new things about yourself, which you can always tie in with your existing strengths to develop yourself even further. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Beena. I'm going to let you go now. Thanks so much for participating wholeheartedly. Yeah. All right. So that was an example of a strengths interview. It feels like a very simple thing, but it can be extremely powerful. Just by talking about yourself, you discover so many things that you hadn't thought about earlier. And as I said, it's best to do it with somebody whom you can trust and who is willing to listen to your answers and dig deeper. But if not, if you don't have a person like that, one is, of course, talk to Sheetal and see if she can put you in touch with the right person. Or do it for yourself. See if you can answer these questions. Write down the answers. Don't just keep them in your head, because if you don't write down the answers, you're not going to be able to see what you've been able to uncover in yourself. So write down the answers and see what comes up. It's still better to have a conversation, but otherwise that's also your option. So that's that from me with respect to strengths. I would like to summarize what I've said with the following: that don't think that your strengths are only work related. Learn to uncover your strengths even from non-work related situations. You have been gathering a lot of strengths even while you've been on a break. We need to find those strengths and see how can those be phrased in such a way, how can they be developed, how can they be applied in ways that can be useful to organizations. It is very possible that while you might have been, say, an individual contributor before you went on a break, you have actually gathered so many new skills during your break that you're ready to become a manager or anything, right? So it's important to find out what you're ready for at this moment, rather than just get stuck in this time warp of what you were doing before your break and try to start off from that point after your break. So build yourselves, work on finding yourselves, your strengths, and spotlight those well when you're attempting your next career. That's all from me.
Yeah.
Sheetal, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Lalana. No, you don't have to mute yourself because you're the one answering a few questions now. So, ladies, we are now open for questions. Kindly type in your questions on the chat. And just to add on to what you were saying, Lalana, I'm very happy that you brought this up because, see, when we are on career breaks, and a lot of women that we speak to at Women Restart, that we tend to get desperate. It's been a year and a half, we've been trying so hard, and I've had people, I can do digital marketing, I can do content writing, I can actually also, I've done development in past, and I can also do HR recruitment, but as you rightly said, you can't be good at everything. You can only be good at your strength, and you can develop and benefit an organization and so on and so forth. So yeah, very happy with the way things uncovered with Beena and the way you helped her discover her strengths. So I have a question from Meryl here.
Yes.
I feel I have a lot of potential, but I don't know how to convert this into something actionable strategies.
Right. Okay. So Meryl, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Great. So Meryl, I'm hoping that from today's webinar, even if you can start actually identifying examples and specific examples from your past where you have been able to demonstrate the skills and abilities that you're talking about, then you might get a much better idea to get even much more granular with your strengths. And once you've done that, it becomes much easier to extrapolate where you think you can apply those similar strengths even going forward. So again, as I said, maybe you could get in touch with Sheetal to see if she could help you get in touch with a coach that might help you uncover these. But even before that, try writing those down. Write down those specific examples where you have demonstrated exceptional abilities, exceptional capabilities that you believe set you apart from the rest. And that itself will help you uncover quite a lot about yourself. I hope that answers the question, but if I haven't, then please feel free to add that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Now the next question is from Shobha. Hi, Lalana. Shobha here. Would you help us in discovering our strengths? So I'm assuming, Shobha, you would like to take that, strengths and self-awareness interview that Lalana just did with Beena. That would be a good starting point. And if you get stuck somewhere along the way, then we can definitely try and help. The following question is from Pooja. Hi, Lalana. I have been a DGM in marketing in my last role. Right now, I'm a consultant in marketing, but I want to start something new. Not sure how to go about it. Do you want to take that question, Lalana?
Yeah, so again, unfortunately, my answers are all going to sound quite similar. Again, marketing is one big box that you might have put yourself into. What might be useful is to get much more granular within the marketing field and see what is it that you have really enjoyed in marketing, what has given you maximum satisfaction. At what points have you felt that your energy is really flowing and time is just passing without you being aware of it. And focus on those areas as your key strengths in marketing. But if you want to move away from marketing, it's still useful to identify those particular areas because you'll find that as soon as you get granular, it becomes much more transferable across various faculties. So then you're not stuck with marketing. To give you an example of this, is that okay? Is that time up?
No. I think Reshma is in Metro. That was the sound of Metro, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. That's interesting. Okay, fair enough. Yes. So I was going to say that, for example, when I was, handling operations at PRINTO, I thought I'm good at operations. But what I found I'm really good at is, if I break it down, is looking at processes and perhaps simplifying them or improving them so that they become more efficient. Now, once I've gone down to that granular level, it's no longer applicable only for operations. I can use that skill in many other areas, including training. So if I look at a training process, for example, and I say, okay, I need to simplify this and improve it so that it becomes more efficient, and apply that same skill in training, then I am much more able to take my strengths across different faculties, different sort of departments. So don't feel that if you've done marketing before, that's the only thing you can do. Find out what it is that you did really well in marketing and use that to transfer across different departments.
Perfect. And we take this last question, Lalana, that comes from Reshma. Reshma says, I completed BTech in 2015, 2 years ago, and now I want to do a job in core. So being a fresher means less opportunities. So how can I solve the situation? I'm totally confused that I should study further or take a job or do distance learning. I'm unsure.
Sure. I missed what she wants to start a career in.
Core.
Core?
Yeah. Reshma, do you want to say core of what? Core as in what? Manufacturing, engineering? What do you mean when you say core? You can speak, Reshma. I've unmuted yourselves. Yeah.
Reshma, can you speak?
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I had done my
Okay, I'm hearing the metro lady, but I'm not hearing Reshma.
Yeah, so Reshma, the sound is very, yeah. Reshma, please
there
speak.
she is. I can't hear her.
No, so Reshma.
Okay.
So Reshma, your voice is very, very low. So I think we should take this question offline. Reshma, let's connect.
Sure.
You stay in touch and I'll connect you to Lalana and she can maybe try and help you with that question. Is that okay,
For sure.
Reshma? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I just want to say something for the last half minute.
Yeah.
Other than the strengths interview, there is an extremely good tool, a strengths discovery tool, which many of my friends and colleagues have used and really found it very, very helpful in helping them discover their strengths. Of course, it's a paid tool, so you'd have to pay some amount in order to do your strengths discovery. But if you're willing to make that investment, then please do look up the strengths discovery tool online. I don't have the URL, but I will certainly look it up and share it with Sheetal, and it can be posted along with this webinar. And you can pay and discover your own strengths, and that will also help you.
Brilliant.
Right?
All right. Thank you so much, Lalana, for today's session.
Thank you.
Yes, it was very enlightening for me. And for the rest of you, if you still have questions that have been unanswered or would like to explore further, send me an email. My email address is Sheetal, SHEETAL, @womenrestart.com. If there's a need to connect you to a coach, mentor, or even Lalana, I'm sure Lalana would be very happy to help you guys. Lalana?
Thank you. Bye.
Yes, thank
Most
you so
definitely.
much. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye, ladies.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Bye.
Much.
Okay.